Alistair, obviously this was a big win for you. A trilogy fight, a big name. Didn't necessarily come easy though. Of course, you had to survive that third round. So, give us your impressions overall. What did you think about your performance this evening?
Well, I'm very proud. I believe that the first 2.5 rounds, I was dominating, picking my shots. The third round was not too clean, a little bit actually, if I'm honest. A lot of respect to Fabricio. His striking is improving with every fight, it seems. He's a tough opponent. He's there to fight. I clipped him a couple times hard. I cut him. I rocked him. He rocked me. You know, when you fight a caliber as Fabricio, you know it's not gonna be easy. And I think in the second fight, he outstruck me. I out-grappled him. I had that victory. And in this one, to me, I was controlling the first 2.5 rounds. And but again, respect him. He's there to fight, and he's not a walkover.
Can you talk about your strategy and game plan coming in? Because it was interesting. Your hands were pretty low the whole time, and you were kind of positioning yourself right in front of them and giving them different looks. What was your game plan coming in?
Well, of course, his ground game is sublime. It's dangerous. Once he gets you to the ground, he has excellent control. There's submissions there. There's ground and pound. I didn't want to give him that to him. So hands were a little bit lower to block the shot. That being said, I knew the longer the fight would go, I would outpoint him. Of course, the fight stands on the feet, so that's in my advantage. Got to keep it standing.
And we didn't get a chance to see it, but we're watching the internet here. I guess Dana just did the post-fight show, and he said, listen, appreciate that Alistair saying he deserves a title shot, but that's not the type of performance that earns you a title shot. Can you appreciate that, going to a decision like that, not being title-worthy, or do you feel like he might be wrong with that assessment?
No, Dana White is the boss, and it was a decision. It was not a clear-cut dominant performance. I'm here to do whatever is needed to get that title shot. And if we have to run through somebody else, so be it. If we're going to get a title shot now, then so be it.
Alistair, front row to your left here. Hi. Looking at the judges' scorecards, all the judges gave you the first 2 rounds, and all 3 judges gave Fabricio the third. But one judge did score that round 10-8 for Fabricio. Do you see any case for that, or did you think that was a little much?
No. Sometimes you totally disagree with the judges. I think it was accurate today. Again, to me, from where I was looking, I was in control the first 2.5 rounds. Up until that, basically that takedown. And then it was all him. Not the most prettiest performance, I agree.
Now, we were just talking about possibilities of a title shot for you. Looking at the heavyweight landscape and the rankings, either due to injury or somebody being booked with somebody else already, if you don't get that title shot, that's probably got you fighting someone ranked pretty significantly below you at this point. Would you be okay with that if you're not offered that title shot?
Well, I'm a fighter first. I like to stay active. We're going to do whatever is needed to get to the title. And, just be positive. I like the development as a fighter. I believe that every opponent gives me an opportunity to become a better fighter. So if we have to face somebody else first, fine.
And lastly, for me, trilogies in MMA are pretty rare. You guys have now fought 3 times and over a pretty wide span of years. How do you assess this performance in the trilogy, even apart from the win, just the way that the two of you have evolved as fighters, how it felt to face him and his skill set tonight versus other times?
Well, again, I know that Fabricio is, he might not be the most athletic opponent. He's an opponent who you easily underestimate. He doesn't really have that knockout power in his hands, but still he finds his way around that. And he's a very intelligent fighter. He's a very dedicated fighter. He comes with a plan to win. So to outsmart him, you have to have your own plan to win, and that does not always give for the most entertaining fights. Then you have to weigh yourself, okay, do you want to win or do you want to fight entertaining? If you're going to fight entertaining against Fabricio Verdum, he's gonna capitalize on that, and he will finish you off. And that's something that for the trilogy fight, you can't at this level you can't do it. You gotta fight clever, you gotta fight smart, and you gotta get that W.
Alistair, right over here. Went to the distance for the first time since 2015, and when you fought Roy Nelson. Were you surprised you weren't able to finish Fabricio in this fight?
Fabricio does not get finished that often. Stipe finished him, knocked him out beautifully again. You know, Stipe is a tremendous champion. Junior Dos Santos knocked him out, uppercut. But he doesn't really get finished, and he's fighting all these big names. He's not getting finished. So that being said, I fought him twice before. I knew beforehand I'm going to get my hands full. It might not be the most beautiful fight, but it's all about fighting clean, not giving away too much, and getting the W.
And any bumps and bruises tonight? Like, when would you like to get back in there for your next fight?
I don't have any injuries. You can see my face. I might have a little redness here, but I'm good. Preferably, you know, I'm looking a little bit at different aspects to my career. I would love to fight in Madison Square Garden. I think that would be beautiful in my career. Not to take away from Vegas. I love to fight here as well. Love to fight in Holland again. Love to fight in Japan. I hear the UFC is doing a Dubai card. That could also be amazing. Have to have Brazil once in my career. But we'll see. We'll see. For now, celebrate a little. And yeah, back to the drawing board. Up to the next one.
And if you look at your last couple of opponents, they're all big-name fighters. You know, Mark Hunt, you know, Andrei Arlovsky. But if you look at the heavyweight division now, there aren't too many big names at this point left, at least that are coming off wins. Would you want to fight like a Curtis Blades, like a prospect, or are you looking to fight someone like Derek Lewis, even though he's coming off a loss, but he's a bit of a bigger name?
I don't really have a clear name in my mind. To me, Fabricio Verdum was the main target. Stipe Miocic, I got something to set right with him. I think my my hand is shuffled differently this time. But let's see what happens.
Alistair, congratulations. Can you talk about just having the mindset of coming into this fight, though? Because what you're describing is that you know that Fabricio is hard to put away, and yet if you don't finish him, then you know you have Dana White saying that this wasn't impressive. This wasn't the fight that will get you to a title shot. So you're facing the toughest guy, but even if you beat him and you survive a third round, then you're not getting a title shot. Were you aware of all that coming in, and what kind of effect did that have on your mindset?
Well, to me, I knew if I fight my fight, either the knockout will come or it won't. If you pursue too much, you're going to fall in one of Fabricio's traps. That was my thought process going into this fight. I knew it was going to be a hard cookie to crack. But it was more about fighting my fight, and if the knockout comes, it'll come. And yeah, the same. We're going to see what's next on the path.
And not that this had any effect on the fight, but I was just curious. I wanted to ask you about. He does some weird things. He likes to play a little bit of mind games. He did that after the first round, where he kind of did like a karate stance at you when the round ended. And then there was at one point where he kept on looking. It seemed like at your lower leg, and then looking up at you. And then you started doing it, like you started to point at his legs or something. Do you remember that? And what was going on there?
Well, Fabricio likes to play mind games. Again, he's I view him as one of the more intelligent fighters. It's all to get in my mind. Again, I've been battling him for 11 years. He's one of my rivals. Yeah, and if you're going to do that mental game, I can do that as well.
Compared to over here to your right, you're right. Compared to the fight in Strikeforce, how would you rate it compared to that? How would you rate this fight compared to that one?
That one was a clean one as well. I do believe that I was very dominant in that performance. I believe I was very dominant in this performance, except for the last 2 minutes of the third round. But again, Fabricio is a champ. He's a former UFC champ. He's a jiu-jitsu grappling champ. He comes with a plan to win. And I believe that I have outsmarted him, and I've used my athletic abilities to dominate him.
So you just said you'll do whatever is needed to earn that next title shot, but you only have a finite amount of time here. You know, you're in your late 30s, and you don't have forever to fight. How long would you be willing to? How many fights would you be willing to take in order to get this this title shot?
Well, people keep talking about your clock is ticking. Yeah, my clock is ticking, but I feel great, and I'm still beating these top opponents. The way I see it is my body is still perfect. Came into this fight, 0 problems, 0 injuries. I'm gonna keep going till I don't like it anymore, and up until now I love it. I enjoy my career. I enjoy the traveling. I enjoy the training. I enjoy the development. Every opponent makes me a better fighter, and let's be honest. It would be a lot less interesting, more boring if I would not be around. Right? Right.
Alistair, in the third round, it seems like he really rocked you for a little bit. How bad were you hurt?
I think we rocked each other. I connected a couple times with him. He connected the knee on me. Was not really hurt. And Fabricio, he's got very strong legs. His punches are less powerful. His ground and pound was not a problem. The knee is never good to take. Never want to get kneed in the face in a UFC fight.
Alistair, congratulations. It seemed to me like maybe the big winner tonight was Francis Ngannou, because now he's fighting JDS next, and maybe they won't give you the title shot. Would you be okay with that? Do you think he's done enough if he beats JDS to get a title shot?
Well, I respect Francis, but to be honest, I don't believe he's going to get past JDS. JDS is one of the elite fighters that also has the ability to always come back stronger after a loss. He's shown that over the years, and yeah, let's see what happens in that fight. I mean, he's got his hands full on JDS. JDS is a very hungry fighter, very dedicated fighter, trains complete. So I can't do any predictions, but he's got his hands full.
And your evolution as a fighter, dating back to the Pride days, has been remarkable. Everything that you've been through, the ups and downs. When this fight was over and you won, did you take a moment to get a little nostalgic? I mean, this is a rivalry that dates back to Pride. There are very few of those left, and it started in Pride. Did you sit back and say, look, I won, 2-1, I win, it's over? This story kind of, you lost that one, you came back in Dallas. Did you have a minute to sit back and sort of appreciate what this closure means to you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I showered. Now I'm sitting here. After this, we're gonna have something to eat. Not digested it yet.
And why did you go back to the sushi before the fight? Why did you play with fire like that?
Just 2 pieces.
Just 2? Okay. And
My favorite.
Were you okay?
Otoro.
Were you okay? Did you feel okay?
I was 100%.
Okay.
Everything in this training camp went perfect. It was actually a little bit scary because, you're waiting for something to go wrong. Everything was perfect. Confidence, didn't overtrain, my diet, leading up to the fight week. Everything was calm, was perfect. The team was great. No rotten apples. So, happy.
One last one for you. How do you feel about Gokhan Saki coming to the UFC, and how do you think he will be able to do, considering he doesn't have a lot of MMA experience?
Well, I'm very excited for him to come to the UFC. It's a new challenge, a new chapter in his career. He's an elite striker. He's shown beautiful things for both K1 and Glory. I'm not that much in touch with him. He's going to have... my thing is I love people who test themselves. Conor McGregor is a person who does the same. Saki is doing that the same. I can only respect that. I can only encourage that. He will get tested because UFC is no joke. Everybody comes with a plan. Everybody has excellent strength conditioning, cardio. And we're going to see what he's made of. And that whole testing thing is, I can only applaud that. There's, when you come from another discipline and you come into UFC, I hope he doesn't underestimate it because it's going to be tough. He will get tested. Everybody gets tested in the UFC, sooner or later.
Congrats.
Okay, thank you guys.